The book of Leviticus, chapter 20 and verse 26. And ye shall be holy unto me, for I, Yahweh, am holy, and have severed you from other people, that ye should be mine. First and foremost, I want to give all the glory and all the honor to the Most High God, Yahweh, in the name of his beloved Son, Yahweh Shai. Today, I'm going to get into what is the true meaning of holy. We know that the Christian church a lot of times will say that is being pure, which will make that very difficult for some people to do. But when we get into it, holy only means to be set apart, to be separate. Okay? So the verse that I just read in Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 26, this is this is what the Most High chose. You know, he picked a certain group of people unto himself. You know, he gave them statute, laws, and commandments, you know, to be separate from the other nations. This was Yahweh's desire. You know, his desire was always for Israel to be separate, or holy, or set apart from everyone else. You know, these other nations, they had their own gods. They had their own culture. You know, Israel always wanted to be a part of these other nations' culture, and also always wanted to worship these other nations' gods. Okay? You know, that's how a people is conquered, by adapting to another nation's culture. Just like how the Romans, they was able to conquer the world by introducing their culture. The same with the Greeks. That's how a lot of our people was carried away unto the Greeks. You know, they became Grecians. All right, so we got to be careful, you know, that we not taken away by these other nations, carried off into idolatry, you know, worshiping their other gods, doing their customs, doing their commandments of men, you know. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, and I'm going to start at verse 1. When Yahweh thy power shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and hast cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, the Girgashites, and the Ammonites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. And when Yahweh thy power shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of Yahweh be kindled against you, and destroy thee suddenly. But thus shall ye deal with them. Ye shall destroy their altars, and break down their images, and cut down their groves, and burn their graven images with fire. For thou art an holy people unto Yahweh thy power. Yahweh thy power has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Yahweh did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because ye were more in number than any people, for ye were the fewest of all people. But because Yahweh loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he had sworn unto his fathers, that Yahweh brought you out with a mighty hand, and redeemed you out of the house of bondage, from the hand of Pharaoh king of Egypt. Know therefore that Yahweh thy power, he is God, the faithful God, which keepeth covenant and mercy with them that love him, and keep his commandments to thousands of generations. So Yahweh gave us a playbook, you know, how to deal with these other nations. And that's what he was saying in Deuteronomy chapter 7. Don't let your sons marry their daughters, and don't let your daughters marry their sons. And he's talking about these other nations of people, man. And he said, this is I'm going to go back up to verse 7 and 5. But this shall ye deal with them. Like, this is how you deal with these other nations. You shall destroy their altars, break down their images, and cut down their groves, and burn their graven images with fire. So when you come in contact with these other nations, man, you're supposed to denounce every wickedness that they do. Don't be partakers of it. Don't start worshiping their gods. Don't go into their temples. Don't bow down to their altars. And don't bow down to their graven images, man. So this is how Yahweh told the children of Israel how to deal with these other nations. But what Israel go and do? Israel go and conform to what these other nations are doing instead of being holy, being separate, being set apart like Yahweh always proclaimed that he wanted his people to be from the beginning, man. Like I read in Leviticus 20. If you call by Yahweh Shai or Yahweh to be a part of this truth, you cannot do as the other nations do. You just can't do it, man. This is the book of Romans. This is the book of Romans, chapter 12 and verse 2. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of Yahweh, man. And part of that will of Yahweh is for his people to be separate, to be holy, like he proclaimed them to be. Okay? But this brings us in to a part of what this lesson is about. We in that time of the year where we celebrating Christmas. Okay, we got Christmas, we got New Year's follow right after. We just had Thanksgiving before this. You have to learn to be separate from what's going on in this world, man. You can't be partakers of that. So what they doing is partaking in this is other nations' culture, man. Christmas is a Babylonian culture. It's a Babylonian celebration. This kindles a fire in Yahweh, like I just read in Deuteronomy. It kindles a fire in Yahweh whenever you partake in these celebrations, in these pagan holidays, these pagan idol worshiping. Because that tree, that's all it is. That tree is an idol, man. And this is just a test of your faith. It's your test of your faith and your will, to be separated, to be different from the world. Yahweh want to see if this is what you want. Okay? This time of the year, everybody seeming happy, cheerful, giving gifts. But what they don't realize is that they are really being wicked. Which is makes the Most High mad, man. Especially when his people partake in it. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 9 and verse 12. Delight not in the thing that the ungodly has pleasure in, but remember, they shall not go unpunished unto the grave. All right? And what things do the ungodly have pleasure in? What things do the other nations? Not only is these other nations ungodly, he's talking about some of these people that's in the part of Israel, Israelites. They are ungodly, but don't delight in the things that they do. And what things do they do? Peter spoke of it in 1 Peter 4 and 3. They delight in lasciviousness, lust, excess of wine, reveling, banqueting, abominable idolatries, man. And that tree is one of the abominable idolatries. If you got that tree set up in your house, that's an abominable idol. All right? And that's against the Most High's will, man, for his people. We're not supposed to be doing that. We're supposed to keep ourselves holy, for Yahweh is holy. We're supposed to be separate, man. And when you partake in these customs of and any other commandments of men, you are not separating yourself. And also, you are not part of that holy nation that will receive redemption. Okay? That holy nation that's mentioned in Deuteronomy 7 and 6. You will not be part of that holy nation if you don't separate yourself. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 4, and I'm going to start at verse 3. And it shall come to pass that he that is left in Zion, and he that remaineth in Jerusalem, shall be called holy, even every one that is written among the living in Jerusalem. Okay? After Yahweh destroyed all the rebels among his people, the ones who didn't separate themselves, he will call his true believers holy, and they will receive everlasting life. Those are the ones that's written in that book of life, man. The ones that separate themselves. Okay? So if you partaking in any of this stuff and not separating yourself, you are not in the book of, you won't be written in this book of life. Just period. So that Deuteronomy 7 and 6, that's not talking about all Israel. That's talking about the ones that separate themselves. That's what that's talking about. That's talking about the Israel of God. That's not just talking about all Israel. That's talking about those that separate themselves, man. Those are the ones that are going to receive the reward of everlasting life. All right? These are the true saints. Because when you get into the word saint, what does the word saint mean? The set apart ones. That's who the saints are. So you just can't call all Israel saints. The saints are the ones who are separated, who separates themselves from the world. The ones who is not conformed to the world. The ones who not doing what the masses of the world are doing, like celebrating Christmas, man. Celebrating Thanksgiving. Celebrating New Year's. Okay? So, these are the saints, the set apart ones. The ones who will take the kingdom. The ones who will take the kingdom. As spoken by Daniel, man, in chapter 7. The ones who wait patiently to see their enemies fall, man. The kingdom is for the set apart ones. It's not for all Israel. Like some brothers believe. It's not for all Israel. The kingdom is only for the ones that is set apart. The ones that will be called holy. Like I just read in verse 3 in Isaiah chapter 4. Okay? So brothers and sisters, don't let this time of the year or any other pagan celebration take your crown. Like you see in Revelation 3, let no man take thy crown. Okay? This is the book of Revelation chapter 22 and 11. He that is unjust, let him be unjust still. And he which is filthy, let him be filthy still. And he that is righteous, let him be righteous still. And he that is holy, let him be holy still. And with that, I want to give all the glory and all the honor to the Heavenly Father Yahweh, in the name of his Son, Yahweh Shai. Peace to the brothers and sisters around the world that's doing this work in truth and in sincerity. Shalom.